Okay, after say yeah the Bremen say ECOWAS for Omabo suspended Chief Justice Torkorno. The petition now just or file at the Bremen say 5-member committee just say an investigation for her removal process no abusuan omo intimidating no eho na oje omo court ni dia just say or tam case no Bremen abusuan CCJ mensa ECOWAS for no nama sisi I say or they call a High Commissioner Court enye asem keto akra na High Commission Court eho enso bedi aboa J-mensa na cause ECOWAS for cramp no omo say masa omo so nnwuma bia wo ye bia na omo ani tua nti na ho na wotama bra omo no omo nimbo bia omo de bo na afi wo se onte ase what they call High Commissioner Court pa intino abusuan we ni breaking news o solo chese ma amene kro we High Commission no kra onyam wie o san so betama ko ba bi fofra enye asam keto akram yenko na yenkonkoti ensema solo de etudwa medamase
Eraba Esabasaki Araba Torkorno watra this ayoma ihye ekwagodrehin Nigeria. That's a committee in that one say omu committee members no. That is my worry. Idea we are ACA actually be say on one colleagues I don't know Supreme Court come.
Yes.
Now dear Yan say who's a committee no spokesperson. To alone be two more na obi enu okasa ana ohipugu omoso.
Let's go for spokesperson.
Na because the all ye there.
Senka committee no dey enkomujuma dey be in camera.
But me say sadia no is education is key. Torkorno sport the padlock. What's no? Wo ye lawless see obi a me hu obi ase.
Chief Justice.
Say me makase say case bi no be court me nka wasem. Ma me na say we break his eye you know. Say assembly o court betwa ka bi. No, at the committee, you see, and cast in camera. I know be a press conference. On what be a press conference. Say, Edu Lord, you know, was a violation of human rights. We know so they go to Abuja, no, so what you say, Edu Lord, you know, mono, M1. Meaning, also, what you say, or quiet, about body search in Tino, a search, a born in a violation of human rights. But in Muno. Dear Dome say committee na dwuma no ye dey e koso gidi na ye wia na bebie beda no say boni bia ni ho a committee no ba mo nkocho say boni bi no ba say boni bi on na mo pam na mo ncho black and white in I tell you say mo pam no na nyina be me support
but obi bisa say if Mahama no face enka or committee na ko ya enka the behavior putting up in konye.
Oh, that's all no right from the beginning. Oh yeah, made the moment of my Vincent Asifa call around so we was a problem.
Yeah.
Because of course Vincent Otiachira and Kwadan. Now ne Vincent Asifa ne aiding komo. Now can you not MPP as a party dan kasano na musinko nya because petition no ye the boy ye katia your friend say Torkorno ye then na Vincent Asifa who is my many a man copy.
Okay.
How did he get to know?
Okay.
Say me no na edi nkomo.
Yes.
I ma go for dame ekoye so na any lawyer. Ufio na go share your friend say civil society Akroma de bibia ba your civil society for echi. Ana omo so ko asemu inform ho. Susua pa say your friend say kwasi otie yi. Torkorno nya na say wo kwa kwase usika de akoko say wo kwa file.
David.
Enti wam na sponsor, wam na sponsor sa civil society for. Amuko ya ye you omubo ya na afidie ma me na opemu bites osemi ameba to opemu ba na yi omude ne bo ho no wo se ni minni motem se die o de ne ngovu ebesi ho afrika de ma te se ahoya nti no mo ye ne sa ana asema ye nkan wie no committee no ma so bitom report ye ndu ba bia wie wo so se wo ko adie ne wo hunti a Opa ton man no.
What do can ECOWAS?
MPP strategy, but you know, ECOWAS ECOWAS ho.
The reasons near back and a reason near back. Was he human rights?
Oh, go head straight. And kasa gwenya ne to football. O free ECOWAS akọ Africa. Africa human rights court. O wi obedi nkasa akọ Commonwealth. Ansa na ko wi hegi chini ya no twitwitwu mu a obese o sai Ghana no Now we Ghana now was saying I would o my best about Chief Justice. Would you hear the one who says here cry? How would you be able to continue as a Chief Justice? You can say, oh, so one bit with you. Because me who says Supreme Court on kind of correct.
Yeah. And the MPP counterparts in Biala, say, judges will be a harmony and cantina or more me and
hey, now we know being car. What crown why you jump over to say justice a baffle bonnie. I told you to begin and was I say, me papa no to one more. Me swagum so to pa penny another bia ya jump junior so be do anim. Papa you cry trans wa more wada. What you so ma won kwa so what time contract am agrada asem ye da copy 15,000 o go yin go for the say 15 years now no me calculate am say 150,000 what ma 450,000 contract so source. There is a reason why you see a country be one more was so new bodyguard and as official of the state, and there is a reason why a country be you so no family member what also would open now. Yeah, can be a Torkorno ntiase. Na ne buafu. Na was rich no a press conference. So ntiase. Na yes and you we are movie say ye dia grass Chief Justice want to me streamline judiciary na ma wo say yes ya it smacks of failure.
It is an onye Ghana judicial system.
Onye wa ground at ground zero.
Ade ono supervisor here no.
Hwe na me di twato no petitioner na your friend Daniel Ofori no.
Yeah.
Onye di pato o. Yeah, no more can say petitions. That's a website for who be ordinary what to seek out to brother why investment to Akroma. I won't say judiciary yes here. Yes, sir, a bit my investment climate, you know. I say my investors in first time man will quarantine the mess in the system. We'll talk as a tie and idea what are you talking about? What I'm saying, who identify do a quarter? That's your fingers. Have we told you that we are tired of having inks?
So at the time when that was made public, we're moving away from ink. What did that signal to you?
I realized that you wanted to, as it were, aid in rigging.
That is truly how you read the situation.
And that was what was going to happen because you see, if you remember the chronology of events, this was an EC that told us that its IT system was so robust that nobody could penetrate. We were in this country that 38 people were transferred from Tamale Central Sanerigu to Pusiga without the persons physically being present. You understand? So, and that was Pusiga alone. When we called on the EC to do an audit so that we could come to a compromised position, they said no, their system was robust. When in fact, the facts on the grounds suggested otherwise.
So there were anomalies that were eventually unearthed. We saw the NDC come out with some names that were not where they were supposed to be, and they actually brought to the fore certain things that were going on in the back end.
Absolutely. And and when the EC was pushed, we had to come to tell us that nobody should complain because in the past we had trees and stones in the register. And you ask yourself, if there were trees and stones available or present in the register, who compiled them? Is it not the Electoral Commission, which you, Tete, has been part of? So it has been a body that is not competent, and it needs a lot of reforms, a lot of resetting in that direction. I agree with my brother that, look, if you are resetting, let's go for competence and not someone who come and do our bidding. You see, there is little that an EC officer could do to help if the citizens are vigilant. You can have all the strategies to rig the election. And I'm telling you, the election 2024, they really wanted to rig the elections. Judging from all aspects. Other than that, we would never have the issue with Abdulkumanov. Abdulkumanov in the capital, having such a situation, no, it can't happen. Unresolved 7 months.
We saw the various attempts that were made at recollation. Some 7 times there was the attempt by the EC to try and recollate. And time after time, we saw that both parties simply could not come to that compromise. This sheet says this one is scanned, this one is... So, I mean, we saw those disturbances also. Do we put that squarely on the doorstep of the EC?
I mean, Article 45, my dear Helen, is so clear that the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions: to compile the register of voters and revise it as such periods as may be determined by law, to demarcate the electoral boundaries, to conduct and supervise all public elections and referenda. You conducted this election, you supervised it, you have not been able to determine who won. An election, at the end of the day, somebody must win. Here is the case that they are telling us. At the other time, I heard the returning officer there broadcast to the entire country that he had recused himself from the electoral matters.
That's
what
right.
are we talking about? The moment he said that he should have been arrested.
Arrested?
Oh, yes. This is a national project, a national assignment that you willingly applied, that you supervised. Now there is confusion. You say you are washed off your hands. How can we be doing that?
He says for safety reasons.
What safety?
What safety?
Who is chasing him? What wrong has he done? If indeed he hasn't done anything wrong, he will not be washing off his hands. And that is why I believe the angle of prosecuting people, so that in future, if people are going to answer to take up the position of returning officers, electoral commissioners, and so on and so forth, they will be remembered, or they will be reminded of what happened to their previous officers. That when you go and mess up, when you go and compromise your positions, you will not just be left off the hook, but you will be prosecuted to serve as a deterrent. Go and vote. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Declare who won. Must it be a problem? And today we are being told that even with this decision, and I'm very happy you recanted, you walked us through where we were and where we are now. Bosman said they had what? They were not going to do a rerun.
That's right.
Now we are told by their own release that the two parties agreed that there has to be a rerun in 19 polling stations. This morning or yesterday night, we learned that the New Patriotic Party says
No.
they disagree.
In fact, that is that is their position, that they have their sheets, they have scanned copies. We have already counted. Nana Ekuafri of the NPP says she is the winner.
How can she be a winner?
Why should she go back to the polls, mobilize? She says
So, on
it
what
will not
basis-
happen.
What basis did the EC come with their presser that they are rerunning and both parties have agreed?
Agreed.
So you see the inconsistencies
That is the point.
with our electoral commission. There's a problem.
It's a problem. You can't come and tell us that the two parties agreed. Now one is saying he didn't agree to anything. In any case, Nana Ekuafri must understand that she is not the one organizing the elections.
No, but look, she's right. Look, let me tell
Yes.
you. Let us not trivialize this
Yes.
matter. Today, it could be that lady.
Yes.
It could be you or me tomorrow. You see, I was sharing my own experience.
That's right.
She's a major stakeholder.
Yes, but you
So
see,
once
Yes.
the Electoral Commission came out with a position, they had their facts to declare the results.
Yes.
And there was a shift in the goalposts.
yes,
That there were not going to be a rerun.
Yes.
And subsequently, they are coming out with a pressure that there will be a rerun.
So she has
agreed
a
by
right to
both
be.
parties.
She has a right to be
Why
aggrieved.
she has not agreed to that?
but
She
the
has
point-
every right to be aggrieved.
The right
So
to
look-
have, but as to whether or not the right to stand the test of that, this is my catch.
Okay.
I have listened to all the parties involved in this matter carefully. I was thinking Ekuafri would be having her original pink sheets. She doesn't have it.
She said scan
No,
copies.
she claims she has the scan copies.
Scan copies.
And they give them scan copies, right?
No. So there's a reason why you are giving the hard copy.
Okay.
How can I authenticate your scan copy? When the returning officers came, and that is why I said I disagree with them.
I see where you're coming from.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Even some of the scam pink sheets, the returning officers did not authenticate them. They said, no, these were not their signatures.
Yes.
So even whether or not both NDC and NPP had the original pink sheet, it still does not lie in the mouth of both parties to determine the outcome of the elections. The referee's pink sheet is what matters. You understand?
That's right.
It's unfortunate. That is why I say that somebody must be punished. The Electoral Commission must be punished.
All right, so fast forward now, we know that Ablekuma North will be heading back to the polls. Some 19 polling stations will be recasting this vote. What impact do you foresee this rerun have on Ablekuma North? Because, and I'm choosing my animal carefully, the elephant in the room really is this strong opposition by Nana Akuffo because she thinks that if this rerun does happen, we're going to see a shift in the pattern, because I walked you through what has happened since 2000. Realistically, if you're a political watcher, you tell an NPP, oh, this one is a cool job for you. We see the trends, but clearly there's a shift, or we're going to see a shift for which the NPP is pushing against this rerun.
I mean, Helen, it tells you how low the NPP has sunk. Ablekuma, hitherto nobody will be asking who won. In fact, you'll be asking what was the gap between the MPP and the NDC. And the 19 polling stations that you just exhibited, these are the strongholds of the MPP. Nyameche, Awosi. Who would think of NDC winning elections there?
So if this is a cool job for the NPP, why are we seeing a pushback?
But the point is that the MPP is collapsed.
The state of the party.
It's no more. There is no vehicle for Akuffo to ride on to victory. And don't forget Rabnobin. She used to be an MPP person who crossed carpet. So the very constituency that Akuffo is eyeing the votes from, she is also eating from there. And let me also tell you that the former MP, Sheila Bertans, she did a poor job. So poor a job in that constituency. So poor.
Solomon, is that your constituency?
I live close. I'm in Okakwe South, North Kalesh area, but I know that constituency very well.
You have some friends?
A lot of friends. And Sheila Bertans messed up with that constituency for Akuffo. So it is not Akuffo.
What were some of the things that her constituents, had a major gripe about?
No, it's the usual infrastructure, poor road network, unemployment, and other social amenities. And also the fact that they thought she wasn't accessible.
So I think that would be her, falling victim to the entire government machinery. Because
that's what, yes, that is a government problem. But you see, in the same way the government wasn't performing, there were some aspirants that won under the circumstance. They used their personal relationship in the constituencies to win.
That's right.
But unfortunately for Akuffo, she had a terrible predecessor. I mean, she left. Sheila Bertans took over from Akuffo, and she won with that. But Akuffo took over from Sheila Bertans. Now it's in limbo. It tells you the state of the party there. I believe that every litigation must come to an end, and to the extent that we are very close to getting to that, they must compromise, go and do the 19 constituencies. My original position was that, look, the entire constituency, there has to be a rerun. That was my
not even just these 19 centers.
I thought that the entire constituency, but I mean, you cannot litigate
that's right.
all your life.
36 constituencies, right?
Yes.
So if you are running 19,
well,
you must as well do.
Maybe it's a financial decision to cut back on
elections.
Okay, abusunya wene and some course our political highway so a year suspended Chief Justice ECOWAS for a ball in a petition Niguyano was also a time case na call High Commissioner and ye asem keto akra no onsem and asulu at the bremoni but I'm as some chepene kokotisa and some way at my aha a POG Media so madam